Well, good afternoon, folks. Dog and I are on an afternoon walk. Thought I'd give you a little tour of downtown Marysville while it's sunny. Plan on doing a better job of it. This is D Street. There's the police station and City Hall. And got some cool old stuff. Places where bums and dogs piss, evidently. Here's Copy City. Sadly, it seems like it's closing for good soon. Makes me very sad to see Brenda and Cheryl close up and move, but that's what happens in Marysville. Got the pawn shop as collateral. This upscale boutique looks pretty neat. It's rural legal assistance. Rent a center. Here's fabulous finds. Some neat stuff in there. A little bit of everything. Upscale resale boutique. Now, I guess Marysville Hotel slated to do mixed use. The guy who owns it held on long enough for somebody to have money to help him do it so he can make more money. Another millionaire relying on tax dollars to get richer. Well, whatever, at least it's getting fixed. Now, some things that might help this homeless problem around here is you see this building here? It used to be a hotel. You've got 2 floors and it goes half a block back into the alley of rooms upstairs, plus the stores at the bottoms, training zone, gym. Now, the problem we have here is the city for a long time has wanted everybody to fix these things up as much as possible before anybody moves in. Renovating, new electrical, new plumbing, new this, new that, right? Well, that's why the town's been dead for years, because they started tearing down buildings instead of allowing them to be fixed, just like was everywhere else. Here on the corner, that 3-story, that was an old bank. There's 2 floors up there that could be converted into housing. So what I would suggest somebody do is we have a charter city here in Marysville, and they have powers to put ordinances in that even bypass state law to some degree, which a common law which runs on state law, like Yuba City, for example, actually operate. And the reason why they're allowed these beyond regular law, common law cities is it's supposed to be able to create economic development in a short period of time. And what happens is, basically, in all the years I've been paying attention to politics, what happens is they turn it on the people, and they end up basically using it to fine business owners and harass people anytime there's a shortage of funds. Like you see Verna, the lady who owns an antique shop down here, she's getting harassed by code enforcement, which, by the way, Chris Sachs, the chief of police, has also been named and double dipping as code enforcement officer on this blight ordinance the mayor and the city council have put into play. And first they hit her for feeding cats with no plates, and then they hit her with feeding cats and leaving plates out. And something I find common is Chris Sachs going after, and I don't know if he's a rich little boy who's been spoiled and bailed out every time he's in trouble and has dirt on our politicians as chief of police that I've heard. I don't have any proof. I mean, I guess I could subpoena people to court if it ever came to that, but I've been told many times he uses his power to basically make people get into line, even if it's an illegal matter. And many of us have already heard this. I've been told by people online, everybody knows how dirty Sachs is. And my answer is, well, if you know how dirty he is, why isn't anybody else doing anything? So anyway, they abuse their power instead of actually creating economic development. And what they should be doing is almost every one of these buildings down here with empty businesses also has loft apartments where the original people who built it lived back in the old days. And what I think they should do is come up with a code of basic habitability without immediate renovation, total renovation, right? And basically what you do is you give the landowners who own these buildings 10 years of being able to rent it out without major renovations to be done over time as they start getting rental income, right? So you're starting to rehab buildings, you're helping the housing crisis. The extra tenants are going to bring revenue to places like pizza guys and the barber shops and the butcher shops and all the other stuff down here, right? And in any case, I think that would be something to get Marysville rolling in a more positive direction. It would also be something that would benefit the local economy greatly, in addition to the housing situation being benefited. And, breathe a little bit of life back into the old city. Believe it or not, folks, these sidewalks are wide because, especially in the old part of town, because you used to be able to have a hard time fitting on these sidewalks. Even in the early 80s, when I was very little, there was still a lot of businesses down here, even though it was already a dying town at that point in time due to poor leadership and basically the same problem we've got up here and the government elsewhere. It's an oligarchy where they put in their flunky family and friends instead of actually helping us find good leaders. It's never an election, folks. It's a selection. I mean, look at this thing. I hear the guy who operates this Habitat for Humanity is actually spent some time in Guantanamo Bay for laundering money to Al-Qaeda. We've got some proof of that we plan on posting later, but is it any wonder why John Nicoletti and the other crooks have teamed up with him? Doesn't that give you concern on maybe why the homeless problem isn't getting any better no matter how much money we dump into it? Here's another problem. The city could use its city charter to get rid of Cal Water, who is one of the absolute most expensive water companies to be under. We pay more for our water here in Marysville than most people pay in Southern California and the Bay Area. A lot of people have a $200 a month water bill and they don't even water their lawn or have a swimming pool. That's ridiculous, folks. Plus, they bribed our politicians through political contributions in races that normally the funding tops out at between 5 and 10 grand. They gave some of the dirty crooks, thank God, like Mayor Ricky, who we kicked out anyway, $5,000 plus whatever screwy stuff they may do behind the scenes that's quasi-legal or completely illegal to get their, encouraged vote in support of keeping dirty Cal water. They could use the charter amendment to get a domesticated water to be, basically where the city runs it instead of a private entity. Because the way you make water around here, or money around here with water, is selling the water. It's not the sewage treatment, right? I believe that perhaps we should ask the agency to pay for a study to see how much it would cost and how it would work taking us to river water, which doesn't have nitrates in it, which would clean up Ellis Lake, and it's also better for our health. Do you really want to drink old farm chemicals from underneath the ground, where rice fields and agriculture and God knows what else over the years that we don't know about or remember in there? I don't think that's a very good idea. I mean, there's already studies out there showing drinking high nitrate foods and consuming this is not good for the body. So anyway, might revitalize things if they took some of these suggestions. Sorry for being out of breath. Me and the dog are both overweight, but she goes fast and I walk fast. If you've ever walked with me, you know that. But anyway, there's some ideas coming up here on some historical house and the Bokai Temple, which they spruced up nicely instead of looking like a dilapidated piece of graffitied up homeless shit right before the festival. And go check out the river now. Good dogs. So anyway, afternoon, sir.
How you going?
Going. River full?
No.
Well, with these crazy storms, it's better not full because that means floods coming. Come on, this way. This way. Have a good day, guys. Hey, wait, you fucking fat bastard. All right. Well, definitely isn't full, folks, but it does appear to be up. So, anyway, I'm going to sign off. Remember, folks, to have imagination. Einstein once said, if he had to choose between knowledge and imagination, he would always pick imagination, because without it, you're going to keep creating the same mistakes and making them over and over again with no new solutions. All right, Zach the fat ass out. Have a good day, folks.